Oh, what is the Upskis, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the GXGamerCast. We're on episode 123 of my gaming show, where once a week I just has to talk about video games, whether they're old video games that I grew up with, new video games that I'm playing today, it doesn't matter, video games. And today, I'm talking about the big one, y'all, even though it's a couple years past, but God of War Ragnarok has been my most anticipated game pretty much since it got announced and all that stuff. I've been dying to play it. I have been patiently waiting for PlayStation to release it on the PlayStation Plus, and they have yet to do so. So I gave in, purchased the game on Black Friday, and immediately started playing it, and have not put it down. Still haven't put it down. I'm still playing it, but I beat the game finally last night, and my God, what a game. What a freaking game. I will be doing my review of this one. There will be spoilers, so I will, if you haven't played God of War 2018, there's definitely going to be some spoilers in that game, because this game takes place a couple of years after the events of that game, and we're continuing on the story. So there will be spoilers for 2018. There will be some spoilers for Ragnarok. Not major storyline spoilers for Ragnarok, but there's some stuff that is pretty wicked that I have to discuss. So if you don't want to hear any spoilers, sadly there will be some spoilers in this epi. But before we get into the spoiler-filled God of War Ragnarok review, let's talk about what I've been up to over the last week or so. As I always encourage you, the viewer, the listener, let me know what you've been up to. What games are you playing right now in the Christmas season? What games are you hyped up for? I know video game awards have gone and passed since you're hearing this, and there were some big announcements there, like The Witcher 4, that was fucking awesome. I know people weren't that big on Borderlands 4, but I haven't even played Borderlands 3 yet, but still, there was some big announcements. What was your favorite announcement there? Honestly, I haven't even gone through the whole entire show yet, so I can't say. I guess The Witcher 4, I'm very hyped for, but it's so far away, like, can't get too hyped. And the video game winner, Astrobot, gets Game of the Year. That is phenomenal. I'm very, very happy to hear that and see Astrobot getting it. I have not played it yet. I most certainly will be playing Astrobot at some point. It's been a jam-packed year and I haven't been able to fit it. And I will wait until it's a little bit cheaper. But that's the way it goes. But very happy to see Astrobot getting the award there. What was your feelings on the awards? I just kind of ran through them. Nothing really stood out to me that I was like, wow. Other than, I had a pretty good feeling that Astrobot would win. But kind of had a little bit of suspicion, maybe Balatro will steal it just because, that would be sick. But what a year for gaming. Anyway, let me know what games you're playing. What movies are you watching right now? What's your favorite Christmas movies? All that jazz. And, all right, let's talk about what I've been up to. So, I am a huge Beetlejuice guy. Original Beetlejuice, I watched that movie so many times, probably dozens of times as a kid growing up. I love Beetlejuice. Didn't understand it much as a kid, what the hell was going on. All I know is that it was funny. I really enjoyed Beetlejuice, and I was nervous about the Beetlejuice, the what do you call it, sequel, I guess, to Beetlejuice. I always get nervous around these things. When it came out, the reviews were shockingly good. And everyone that I talked to that's seen it said they really liked it. So I was like, all right, cool. And it came out on Crave, I believe, finally. So my wife and I watched it. She liked it. Me, I didn't not like it. It was fine. It was a fine movie. I don't know, man. It just didn't really do a lot. There was a couple of chuckles. There was some good throwbacks, obviously, to the original movie. Some of the music, just straight up throwbacks from the original movie. Obviously, you get Winona Ryder and Michael Keaton reprising their roles in the movie. I wasn't big on Winona, not gonna lie. Lydia, just not it. The mom, though, from the original movie, she's back. She looks great, and she was great in this movie. She might have been the best character in the movie. Beetlejuice just didn't do that much stuff, honestly. He was there, and I don't know, man. There was some odd, fourth wall breaking stuff that I was like, what's that about? That's not Beetlejuice. That's not what we do here. So for me, it was kind of a miss. I I watched it. I was like, yeah, it's fine. It's just it's got nothing on the original Beetlejuice. It's not in any way of the level of A Christmas Story and its sequel that came out. Like, the sequel blew me away. It was so fucking good, so well made. This Beetlejuice one is aight. It was aight. I hit it with like a 6 out of 10. I'm disappointed, obviously, but now take this with a grain of salt, my expectations are through the roof. I love Beetlejuice. I'm very adamant that there's no reason for it to have a sequel. I wish they just kind of left it alone and just let it be an amazing movie from the 80s, like a little, I don't know if it's really a cult classic. I feel like everyone's watched Beetlejuice, but I'm still taking the original any day of the week over this new one. It was fine. All right, and show-wise, I'm still going through Arcane Season 2. I think I'm on episode 5 or 6 now. It's good. It's really good. I have been saying, like, a lot of people at work will talk about it. I'm like, honestly, I think it's a little bit overrated. Like, I think more it's just the animation that people go crazy about. The show itself, like the characters, the story, it's good. It's nothing special. It's nothing new, really, but it's neat. It's neat. I really like it. Like, I'm enjoying it, and I will finish season 2. And then Survivor 47, watched the latest episode of that. Fucking Operation Italy. Oh my god, that was nuts. That was fucking nuts, bro. There's been a lot of swerving going on in this season. Fucking buddy with the long hair, I can't remember his name right now, but that guy he was the one. Like, every season, I swear, this happens to me. I target someone on, like, episode 1, like, there's no way this dude's making it, or this girl, or whoever. Like, you had a bad start, there's no way you're getting out of it. And then here they are. They're like, we're in the final 6 now, and they're still fucking here. I'm like, how did you do it? So I'm thinking this dude might win it right here, because his game has been really, really good. And yeah, man, it's going to be a really fun finale. We got 2 more episodes left, so it's the 2-part season finale left, and that'll be Survivor. And in terms of video, wait, hold on. I have been watching Elsbeth season 2. Good stuff, quality show. And in terms of video games, finished off Mario Wonder. I got all the seeds. I finished off every level. I finished the special world, which, like, I never get to do that stuff in Mario games because it's usually too hard for me. But I was able to do it with Mario Wonder. It took me a few tries to get that final level down, but I got it, and yeah, I'm feeling pretty good. I don't know what really is left. I mean, there's, like, those purple coins or whatever. I'm not really interested. They have these, like, I don't know, like, medals or something. I only have one of those, so I don't know, like, the fuck is that about? I want to try and get my wife to play it with me, try it co-op, and see if I can, I don't know, squeeze a little bit more juice out of this game, and see if she will like it, and if I can have more fun with it in a multiplayer form. So, but overall, it's not like it's a great game. Don't get me wrong. Mario Wonder, arguably one of the best, if not the best 2D Mario game since Super Mario World. Might even be better. I mean, it should be with all how many years it is. But anyway, it's just not really, Mario games just aren't my favorite kind of genre. I enjoy most of them. I am not afraid to call out the ones that I don't like 3D World and Bowser's Fury was just not good for me. I did not enjoy that package right there. Mario Sunshine sucks. Like, nah, there's Mario games just aren't always my thing, but this one was pretty fucking good, man. And I will definitely have a long consideration to see where it's going to fall in the XE Awards. We'll see where Mario ends up. But regardless, finished that bitch off. It was great. Just, yeah, I don't know. Mario games just leave me wanting more. I'm like, not that I feel bad for Nintendo people, but, like, if I dedicated my thing to Nintendo, and, like, I just wouldn't feel full. You know what I'm saying? I would feel pretty, like, a little empty inside a little bit for how much money Nintendo asks out of its fans and how little things go on sale and shit like that. Like, I wouldn't feel very satisfied if I was a Nintendo fanboy, you know what I'm saying? That's why I'm so happy being a Sony pony boy majorly, but I just love all the games. But Sony's my place. Anyway, so finished off Mario. It was awesome. And I am still playing this War of Mine. Finished off, I actually lost a scenario the other night. The one with the child. Went very, very poorly. Lost the child, lost his dad, lost another girl, then I killed myself. It was a really rough run. That was a difficult challenge, and I wasn't able to get it done. I kind of got tricked. The radio said like, hey, we're gonna be getting you guys out of here in a couple of days, and I'm like, oh fuck yeah, and then all of a sudden they're like, nope, never mind, not gonna happen, not anytime soon, have no idea. And I was like, oh, well, I'm fucked now. So there you go. So that's how that goes. I am eyeing up Frostpunk now, or I think that's what it's called, Frostpunk, the next game from this company. I have it downloaded. I want to play it. I also downloaded Indiana Jones. I've been hearing great things, so I got that downloaded. May not start it until next year, because I'm still kind of on a God of War kick. I want to start playing some of the God of War games that I missed. I'm going to be starting off with Ascension soon, so I'm going to get that going. And yeah, so I think that's everything I've been doing with games. I also, I downloaded Nine Souls as well. I hear great things about Nine Souls, so I have that downloaded. And Metal Slug Tactics, I also downloaded that as well. Homie from work's been raving about it, says it's really fun, and those kind of games. Like, I've never played a Metal Slug game, but tactics games, fuck yeah, and it looks good. It kind of looks like Into the Breach, so I want to give that one a shot as well. And that's everything I've been up to, y'all. Let's do it. Let's talk about one of the biggest, craziest games I have ever played in my life, God of War Ragnarok. Oh, buddy, I am so happy to be back in the world of God of War. I will admit that this Ragnarok has really sparked the God of War kick in me again. Now I want to go back and play the old games again and just compare notes, basically. Like, which ones did I prefer? Do I prefer the old style God of War? Do I prefer the new style God of War? Maybe that'll be an episode for a future date, but man, I've been waiting for this game, and did it live up to the hype? Abso-freaking-lutely, man. I'm blown away by this game. Absolutely blown away. Even though I've experienced God of War 2018, like, man, where do we even start with this game? Well, let's start where it begins. This game begins I think it's 2 years after 2018's God of War. So you're still playing as Kratos. You still have Atreus. Atreus is older now. He's in his teenage years, where prior he was like, 10 years old or some shit. Now he's a teenager. He's a little bit older, a little more mature. And this whole time he's been training with Kratos, getting ready for Ragnarok. When Ragnarok, I'm not a fucking mythological freaking veteran or a professional over here, but Ragnarok basically starts the end of the world. And it's not good. We don't want Ragnarok to happen. We've seen these prophecies. We've seen a few prophecies that say some pretty fucked up shit, and we basically want to try and stop Ragnarok while trying to stop and fulfill the prophecy. It's interesting. It's an interesting story. I love the story of this game. Again, I don't want to go too far down that hole because I don't want to spoil Ragnarok, because there's probably some people out there that haven't experienced it. Sadly, I really can't avoid some of the spoilers for 2018's game, but I'll try my best to avoid some of those things. But, here's kind of your spoiler for 2018. At the end of that game, so if you don't want to hear it, skip it now. But at the end of God of War 2018, you were greeted by somebody with a electric hammer. And you may know who that person is, but that's where they leave you off in 2018. And you don't quite start right there at that moment, but you do some shit with Atreus. It's just you and Kratos. You're just living, man. You're just living off the land, trying to survive. You're hunting, you're training constantly. You have your wolves, you have your little home, and yeah, you're just living until you get visited by Thor and Odin. And that moment right there, man, that was outstanding. So the big character that is in this game is Odin. What a freaking character, man. Oh my god. Might be one of the best villains I have ever encountered in a video game. Even until the very bitter end with Odin, I was like, I was listening to the words that he was saying. Like, hey, maybe we can do and he's just the biggest liar, scumbag, selfish piece of shit. But the whole while he comes off as this good, likable person, and like, man, they did such a great job with Odin. Love that character. And then you have Thor, that's his son. Odin, that's Thor's father. So it follows like real mythological lore and all that shit. So that is really cool. And what Thor and Odin want, basically, it's just what Odin wants. Odin wants to, he has this mask, he needs to complete this mask to fucking see into this tear where allegedly he will get all the answers to life's secrets and questions and all that shit. So, alright, apparently he put this mask on before and he looked into it, and that's how Odin lost his eye. So, really cool shit going on right there, and you're like, but you're also like, this could start Ragnarok, so obviously there's some problems here. But Kratos and Odin, they don't want to have Ragnarok, but prophecies are saying like we're going to Ragnarok no matter what. But you know, we're of the belief that we can change prophecies and yada yada yada. So we're going on this big adventure to try and stop Ragnarok, try and stop Odin, and all the while trying to, you know, keep Boy out of trouble and teach him and learn him how to become a good, responsible human in the world and build these relationships. And oh my god, this game has so much fucking shit going on for it. So storyline-wise, it's amazing. It's huge. It's epic. You got these gods and creatures and just one of the craziest, amazing worlds of Midgard, Alfheim, like this world that you're in. Amazing. I don't want to leave. I don't want to leave this place. I'm still playing God of War. There's like little things I'm putting around and doing, and I don't want to leave it, man. It's so beautiful. It's just so vast, and there's so many different areas. It's just a smorgasbord of environments and beautiful vistas. And just, oh my god. So I guess I'm kind of gushing about the graphics now, so I guess I'll go down that path and talk about some of the graphics, but this game is unfucking believable. Oh my god. Gorgeous, gorgeous video game. The vistas in this game are nonstop. Like, maybe I don't think I've been this blown away with vistas and like consistently stopping and just taking in the environment that I'm in and just absorbing it and loving it and feeling so comfy and just, oh my god. I don't think I've had that since Bloodborne, where I can just sit there and look out into this beautiful, amazing world that they've built and just be immersed in it. And my god, God of War, maybe one of the craziest, just beautiful worlds ever created in a video game. This shit is ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. The only gripe that people would have, I guess, with the graphics of this game is that it is using the same engine that it did in 2018. So it's reusing assets, which is fine. It doesn't really bother me. I will say that, like, compared to another game that I played this year with incredible graphics, Hellblade 2, I would say that the vistas and the backgrounds are more impressive in God of War. There's a vast majority, there's just so much variety, and there's so many more of them. But the character models and details of the way that they move in Hellblade is better than God of War. God of War, the character models starting to look a little bit aged. They still don't have that really pristine movement. And there were some times where, like, when you're not in, like, a cutscene, if you can even call that a cutscene, because there's no cutscenes in God of War. It's all one seamless engine. Everything kind of runs in its own. But you'll have those moments where it's like, okay, I'm not in control right now. We're just kind of in a scene. But outside of that, when you're just kind of walking around, people are just doing their thing. You can have conversations with them, and those animations, I've noticed, look pretty rough. Like, really, really robotic movements and very, very not human-like. So there is that, but for all things considered, this is still one of the best looking games on the market right now on PS5, I would say. So many times I just stopped in my tracks to just take in these environments. There's so many amazing places that you're going to see, and one of the first ones that really just made me go, my god, this is awesome. It was an area, we just ended up on a nice sunny warm beach. And in God of War, as you know, at the beginning of this game, and for a majority of the game, you're in the snow. It's snowy, it's Arctic, it's cold as fuck, it's unpleasant. Me, as a Canadian, I don't like it. I don't like the cold, I don't like the snow, and then we just roll up in this beautiful sandy beach and there's water and sunlight. And I'm like, where the hell am I? Is this God of War? Am I playing the right game? It was just like an environment I am not used to in my God of War, and I was blown away. It was gorgeous. Dude, I just wrote down a bunch of places that just blew me away. There's these elven caves, man. Oh my God, sensational. I will say, some caves are better than others. There was like this dark ass cave that we're in. And, like, I'm guessing the walls were supposed to be, like, wet, moist or whatever the fuck. And it just looked really, really strange. The textures were really weird. It didn't look right. So there was some issues there, I guess. But, man, inside those caves, some of them are so colorful. They're beautiful. The purples and, like, the ores and all that shit. It's crazy. And then when you get out of the caves, you get into the city of Alfheim. Oh, my fucking God, man. Gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. The Iron Woods was like something out of a freaking children's book, man. Like, you got strange plants and trees everywhere, like things you've never seen before. And there were so many cute wolves everywhere. They had wolves running all over the place. We have our own wolves, but these were like renegade wolves, and they're, just living, being cute and awesome. And like, you get a variety of areas. It's not just, I don't know, like fucking temple here. Like, no, you're in the woods, you're in the forest, you're in caves, you're in mountains, you're in temples, you're in fucking insane shit, man. Like, everything. There's just so many amazing places to visit in God of War. Like, oh my God. The Goddess Falls. Oh my goodness. Stunning. Absolutely stunning area. You got the rainbows with the waterfall. Like, oh my God. Colorful foliage. And it just feels so lived in. It feels so real, so wild. You got these animals running around all over the place. You got the sounds and just, oh my God, it feels so realistic. Like, it's just like, I feel like I'm walking through a fucking jungle, man. It's absolutely insane. You're in the frozen, where is it? I think this is in Midgar where this goes down, but you have these things called Hofgothas, whatever the fuck, but they're like giant jellyfish. And when you release them, you can release two, but whenever you release one or the other, they like release little baby jellyfish. Well, actually, when you get them both, they fuck. And then they unleash like thousands and thousands of little jellyfish, little lights in the sky. And it's just, oh my God, man. And the game has like, it doesn't like run on a night and day cycle, but there's areas where you can change the night and day. And like, dude, you see this shit at night. It is stunning. All the lights and everything, the sky and the cosmic galaxies up there. Oh my God. One of the greatest looking games I have ever played. I would say it's like, like all in all, how big it is and the variety of areas, it's got to be one of the best looking things ever, in my opinion. That's just, I love the variety of the areas that you're going to. Yeah, that was gorgeous in the desert night sky. You got, when you climb the giant wall of Asgard, oh my God, once you finally get up there and you see what's on the other side of that wall, and it's just this giant, well, not giant, but they have like a civilization down there, and you're like, fuck, like the views that you're seeing in this place, man. You just see the landscape. It's stunning, absolutely stunning. There's this wishing well area. Oh, that's even more magical. That is straight up fairy tale book shit right there. Like, oh, I want to live there. Like, I don't know. Like, when you're a young kid, you find like these, I don't know, like comfy places. You're like, I just want to live here. Like, that's the feeling that gave me. I'm like, yo, I just want to like set up my games up in here. And like, this is an area I would just want to live in. Like, it's just so serene and beautiful and comfy and just, oh, what a cozy little area. I love that wishing well spot. The spark of the world, oh my God, cosmic area, it's just, I love that shit, man. This game is insanely good looking, way too good looking, especially the environments. Like, yeah, the character models and shit aged a little bit, like not really, like Kratos still looks amazing. The emotions that are being displayed on the characters are fantastic. Like, you know very well how people are feeling, the looks in their eyes, like, man, that shit is good. If they could just make the hair look better, like some people's hair still looks kind of funky. There's definitely games that are doing better character models, but damn, son, God of War as an environment, as a place to be in, sensational. I love this place. Let's talk about the sound design. amazing soundtrack. I mean, epic is putting it lightly. It's that, I don't know, operatic and shit like that. It's epic. It's that kind of music that you expect in these AAA games. It is huge. It is epic. It is amazing. But it also, I am definitely getting Witcher 3 vibes from the soundtrack when you're just kind of vibing, you're just traveling around, walking down a road, you're in a little town, not really doing anything crazy, and it's just nice, fucking folky. I don't really know, like I don't know, it's that the what's those guitars called? I don't know, but it's got the sound, man. The sound is there. The music is excellent. Again, actually, well, there was one part at the finale, the final mission that you're doing. The music that is going off in that section is ridiculous. I had to stop for just like a moment and just like listen to it. I was like, Jesus, they are going all out with that music right there. The music is ridiculous. Very, very good music. And goes without saying, the voice acting. Top to bottom, out of control. Out of control. You got the Kratos, boy, I think it's Christopher Judge, I believe, does the voice of that. Iconic. Super iconic. I love, like, we'll kind of talk about characters and sound design right now, but Kratos as a character, I don't think Kratos is like necessarily the lead guy all the way in this one. Obviously, Atreus is getting a little bit more in this game. That's kind of where we're shifting God of War. Eventually, it will become Atreus' story or something like that. I don't really know where Santa Monica is going after the God of War games. I don't know. Not worried about it, but Kratos, stoic, respectful, honor, just a warrior, a man's man, if you will. And yeah, he's got there's some issues throughout the game with like what Kratos wants. Like, he seems like he doesn't really know what the fuck he wants. And throughout the game, that's kind of like the theming with Kratos. He's trying to figure out like, what's my best choices? What's the best way to raise my son and be a good role model to him? Like, he plays a major part, obviously, in Atreus' life. He's his father, and he wants to make a good, positive impact on his kids, so he doesn't make the same mistakes that Kratos did when he was going through his vengeful phase. So Kratos is dealing with a lot. He's a single father. That's not easy. And yeah, man, I love Kratos. There are some seriously touching father-son bonding moments throughout this game. Like, I didn't cry throughout the game. Not that I didn't try. I'm just a hardened up old fucking shit nowadays. But man, so many times I would just crack massive smiles, and just the relationship and the bond that is made between Kratos and Atreus in this game is awesome. And they don't really have that okay, in the first game, like, you know, Atreus, he kind of becomes a little asshole for a little bit there. We don't have that in this game. Like, Atreus is much more matured now, but he still has problems as a kid, right? He wants to do things on his own. He wants to travel and make his own decisions and show his dad that I am good enough, I'm ready, I can do this and shit like that. But the bond that they build throughout this game is beautiful. It's nothing short of beautiful. It's such an amazing relationship, so powerful. And yeah, man, I love these two guys. Absolutely love them, the relationship that they have with each other, the moments that you have with each other. There's one great moment where you're just out in, I think it's Asgard, I don't know, in a snowy area, and you get there and there's like these barbarians that hunt down wolves and eat them. And that makes Kratos and Atreus very upset. As wolf owners, they love their wolves. So we go down and track these motherfuckers down. We kill the shit out of them. And then we have like a great bonding experience right there. Like, we learn very early on, like, the kind of bond that Atreus has with the wolves. And Kratos doesn't bond with the wolves on that level. But after that mission, you have a beautiful little moment there with the wolves and Atreus. And like, Kratos opens up more in this game. Like, he's not just a angry man, that simple man that he was in the early God of War games. It was pure vengeance. Kratos is a very deep character. He's got a lot going on there, a lot of thinks and a lot of thoughts, and deep down, he's a great man. He's a great man with strong morals, and yeah, he will abide by those morals and keep his family safe and that kind of shit. But man, what a relationship these two had. Like, oh man, beautiful, absolutely beautiful. And Atreus, he gets a bigger role, like I said, in this game. And he makes some terrible mistakes in this game as well. He maybe kind of sort of releases some sort of Hound of Hell, which starts ripping holes in the realms and just causing a whole bunch of chaos. So Atreus still has things to learn. He makes mistakes along the way, but Kratos is there to guide him along with his other friends. We'll talk about them. But Atreus, he meets another girl in this game. Well, I guess he meets a couple of girls. He's a little popular sumbitch, but he got, what's her name? Ambrosia, something like that. She's awesome. I love the little relationship that these two build. There are parts in this game where it's just, you're playing as just Atreus, and you're with her, and she is just delightful. She's such a delightful character. Yeah, you see the love that is forming between her and Atreus. It's super cute. There's even a moment later in the game that like Kratos is just kind of watching it, and he's just like, oh. He doesn't do that, but you could tell inside he's like, oh, and stuff like that. But so many great relationships in this game. I love that. Later on, Atreus will meet Thrud. That is Thor's daughter, and she is training to become a Valkyrie. She's the granddaughter of Odin, and yeah, they have a pretty interesting relationship too. A little bit more rocky, but it was cool, man. Thrud's a cool character. There's a very cool scene in Aftergame with her. If you go into the desert, you will see Thrud again, and she will do some very cool shit, and you're like, whoa, maybe we get a game with Thrud or something like that. That would be sick, man. There's so many spin-off games that they could do with God of War now. Regardless, Thrud's a great side character. You got returning characters. Mimir, of course. You gotta have Mimir, the talking head. He's unbelievable. You attach him to your belt, and he walks around with, well, he doesn't walk, but he travels with you throughout most of the game, and he's just a great, kind of that, what do you call them? Comedic relief characters, basically. Kind of like a Dax and Jak and Daxter. He tells stories. While you're traveling, if you're just going from place to place and there's time in between, he'll tell a story or he'll ask these questions, and he creates these engaging conversations that you're listening to all throughout the game, and he's just fantastic. There is an ongoing thing throughout like most of the game where Brock tells Mimir a riddle. And he's like, what gets bigger the more you take away from it? And throughout the whole game, like every few hours or something, he'll just be like, what the hell is it? And he's like freaking out about it. And then you finally get it at the end of the game. Super sad. But man, Mimir is the homie. He's Mimir. He's my man. I love that guy. He's awesome. There would definitely be a major void in this game if we didn't have a character like Mimir to fill in that empty space that open worlds have while you're traveling and doing shit. Like, there really is not a lot of empty space in God of War, and considering how big this game is, it's big. It's a bigger game than I thought, but very impressive. Love what Mimir brings to this game. An excellent side character. You got Brock and Sindri returning from the first game. They're your what do you call them, blacksmiths. They work on your armor, and Sindri especially has a way bigger role in this game. He develops way more as a character, and like, yeah, dude, really intense. I want to try and stay away from that conversation because it's like major shit happens like with Brock and Sindri in this game, and it's spectacular. Love those characters. They're kind of comic relief as well. You will, every once in a while, you come back home, you're just kind of regrouping after a big adventure, and they'll be cracking jokes, they'll be telling stories. They got great chemistry with each other, Brock and Sindri. There's even an area in the game where it's Kratos and Brock, and Kratos and Brock are actually tight with each other. Like, Kratos admits, like, I like Brock, he's a friend, I would call him a friend, he's real, like, he fucking says what it is, like, he doesn't sugarcoat nothing, he's very blunt, and Kratos likes that. And there's a moment in the game when you two are adventuring with each other, it's pretty fucking wicked, man. Like, I was really enjoying it. I wish Kratos would have opened up a little bit more with Brock, like, maybe showed, like, a little funny side or something like that. That would have been amazing. But Brock and Sindri, great characters. Sindri and Atreus especially develop a very interesting relationship throughout this game. It's It is something, man. I did not expect Sindri to take this kind of step in the game, but I loved it. It was fucking awesome. So Brock and Sindri back in the game, love them. You got Specky and Savannah, that's your wolf companions. I talked about the great bonding moment that you have with them. It's very, very sweet. I highly recommend you do that. If you haven't, get out there and do it. It's a really nice moment, but they're great. They you can travel around with the dogs in certain areas. They're like your dog sled things, so you've probably seen it in the trailers. I think they're on the cover of the game. I can't see it from here. It doesn't matter. They're great. They're super cute. They're wolves, and there's nothing wrong with them. They're great. There's there's another animal in this game. I think his name is Radaraska or something like that. He is this adorable little squirrel. This little fucking, what do you call him? A mystical squirrel. I don't know. He takes care of like the trees, the myth. I don't know. He's cool. He shows up and he kind of gives you some side jobs that you can do throughout the game. And he has these like almost like kind of like the movie Inside Out. He's got these other little squirrels that are with him, and they're just like the embodiments of personality traits. Like one is oh fuck, I don't know. He's just like a dick, a bitterness. You got bitterness and anxiety, and they're always picking on anxiety. Like, oh, anxiety, they're talking about you. And he's like, what? They are? Oh, jeez. Oh, no. So it's just, that's really good. So that's another pretty interesting side character. Back to more of the antagonist side. So Thor and Odin. Odin, I think, has the best performance in this game. As the voice acting and just the character that he was. Like, I got so into Odin, man. Like, I was drinking his Kool-Aid for sure. He would have had me. I would have been wrapped around his finger. He's just acts like such a nice person, but he's such a hypocrite. He is such a scumbag. What a great character. I absolutely love the Odin character. Thor is great in this game as well. He's more of that realistic Thor. Like, he's not your Marvel fucking Thor. He's got a big gut. He's got a big belly like he's supposed to. He's miserable. He's a drunk, angry man, and like he's just at the end of his rope right now. Basically, he's just been whittled down basically by Odin, his dad, and just, you know, just not a very happy person anymore as Thor, and he's just doing the dirty work. Whatever Odin wants, he will go and do it. But he has some great moments throughout the game too, and especially when he's out with Atreus. Odin will send Atreus and Thor out on missions with each other. Very fun dynamic. You know, Thor is very impatient, very much doesn't want to do anything with you or with anyone or anything ever other than drinking. So those moments are great. Love that. Thor is fantastic. Who else is... Oh my god, Heimdall. Gotta talk about Heimdall. This fuck. What a piece of shit, but I like him a lot. He was like a really good piece of shit. You're like, like a really good heel in wrestling. Like, you kind of like him because they're so good at being a dick. But this guy's really cool, man, other than, like, the way you have to take him down. Like, what Heimdall is this guy can, like, see everything coming. He knows what you're going to do. He knows what you're going to say. And the lore around him leading up to, like, the fight around him is that he has never been touched. No one can touch this guy. Like, he sees everything coming. If you're going to attack him, he's 4 steps ahead of you. And all this shit. And he talks such mad trash, bro. He is chirping Atreus hardcore, chirping everybody. And you can't do anything. He's a great villain. Really liked Heimdall until he was no longer with us. I don't like the way that they got rid of him. Just kind of like, oh well. It doesn't matter. But Heimdall, that was a great character as well. Really enjoyed him. And yeah, man, that's kind of all like the really big characters. Well, there is Freya. Freya is, she was a big part of 2018's God of War, and she didn't like us very much after what went down in 2018. You kind of killed her son, but yeah, you kind of have to, you kind of need her help in this game, and there's some pretty great moments. There's a moment where Atreus goes to track her down by himself, and that shit was tense right there. Very tense, but Freya, great character. Yeah, man, like, she kind of becomes a friend of ours in the game, and yeah, you develop a pretty decent working relationship with each other. Like, even though we did bad things to her, she did some bad shit to us, we have a common goal in wanting to get rid of Odin. especially her. She really wants to get rid of Odin, which is fine, absolutely fine. But yeah, Freya's good. I want to go like 2 down the rabbit hole with her, but yeah, I like Freya as well. And I think that just leaves us with the gameplay of God of War 2018. And I will say not a lot has changed from God of War 2018. It's still the open world style. It's not fully open world. Like, there is a little bit of linearity to it. It becomes more open world the more you want it to. You do not have to explore these big areas. You don't have to go looking around for this. You can strictly follow the story path and you will be absolutely fine. What you're just getting extra stuff, you're upgrading stuff, you're getting experience. It'll just make the game easier for you in the long run. You'll get more powerful, you'll get more stuff. But you don't have to do everything in the game, but there is a lot of shit to do. And I will say right now, this open world, the way that they crafted this game, amazingly done. Never was I lost in the story. They, like, with Mimir constantly telling us stories, and Atreus and everyone just kind of bantering about what's going on constantly. I was always engaged with the main objective of the story, whilst being able to do my adventures on the side, which there's many, many, many of them. I was never like, oh, fuck, what the fuck are we doing right now? Like, I don't even know what's going on in the storyline. Like, no, they make it very clear what's going on, what you're doing, and it's awesome. It is very awesome. And I found myself spending hours at times just doing side shit. Like, I forget what area it is, but it's big, and like that area alone, like when it first opened up, I spent like hours and hours in there doing stuff, and then I went right back to the story. Boom, no problem. Seamless transition into it. Didn't miss a beat. Don't forget anything. Like, I don't know what it is that they did. You know, having a character like Mimir, a guy that can kind of, I don't know, keep the story going, and I don't know, just asking relevant questions and bringing up discussions, and we'll have those discussions about what's going on, and like, yeah, it just keeps you engaged. It's very well done. And there's, like, again, no wasted space in this open world. Every path that you go down, everywhere that you go, there's gonna be something. Rather a chest, there'll be a fucking raven, there'll be a fight. There's gonna be something. There's a reason for everything in this game, and it is extremely impressive. Like, my wife is very anti the change of God of War. She doesn't like that it went open world. She liked the old style where it's super linear, maybe one side path where you're just gonna find a fucking health upgrade, and that's not what God of War is anymore. It's open, it's go find your adventure, shit like that. It's linear-ish, like, I guess linear for like today's standards, I guess, but no, you can go out and do your own adventures and all that shit in this game, but it keeps you grounded. It keeps you grounded on what the main focus is of the game, whilst letting you have a good variety of other things to do. So, to the combat, like I said, nothing's really changed here from what I can tell. It feels the same, which is fine. The combat in God of War is sensational. Now, it does take a minute, like with a lot of these games where it's hack and slash. There's a lot of combos, there's a lot of moves to learn, special moves. So the more that you play it, the better it gets. The more familiar you're getting with the moves and the combos, you find your combos that you really like to do, and they're actually really, really easy to pull off. A lot of the special moves that you're just doing them by accident at times, and it's really cool. I love what they added to the upgrade system. So with your weapons, you have the axe. Axe is back. You start with the Blades of Chaos now. You had to wait for those for quite some time in the 2018 God of War. And roughly 22 or so hours into the game, I got my third weapon. So there's a third weapon in this game that you'll use. I'll keep that a secret for y'all, but it's fucking sweet. And it's like, where was this weapon? Like, if you think about what Kratos is, where he came from, why didn't we have this weapon? Where was this thing? But yeah, we finally get it, and it's fucking awesome. But one of the cool things that they've done that I've noticed that I believe was new is when you're upgrading your weapons and you have your little skill tree or whatever, and you can pick, I can do this move now, yada, yada, yada. It also tracks how many times you use it. So say I unlock like this combo move, and if I use the combo a bunch of times, it's tracking how many times I'm using it, and I'm unlocking tiers. Once I unlock the gold tier, I can put a perk on it. So all of a sudden, this specific move does more damage, or it does more elemental damage and shit like that. I'm like, yo, that's fucking sweet. And it also makes me want to use the combos. I'm like, oh, if I use them, I can make it stronger. Or if I'm just going through to like, oh, you use this 18 out of 20 times, do it 2 more times. I'm like, all right. So I focus on doing that thing. And the combos are really fun. They're super satisfying. All the weapons are excellent to use. I don't know which one my personal favorite is. I really like all 3 of them for their own ways, and that's a great thing. I mean, the axe is probably the most satisfying, but also the hardest to use. The Blades of Chaos, I mean, you get great range, and then that third weapon, honestly, that third weapon is a ton of fun to use. They're all great, man. They're all super fun and very, very satisfying to use. Yeah, the combat's ridiculous. And like I said, the more you use it, the more you start to understand the combos, how to use them, and like, yeah, dude. And then the special moves are back as well. You have like a R1, R2 special move for each weapon, kind of a lighter and a heavier special attack, and there's a huge variety of those. Upgrade all those. And yeah, dude, you're finding a whole bunch of these. Like, I think the only one I didn't find a lot for was the axe. For some reason, I only found 2 light runic attacks, but all the other ones I had like 4 or 5 options for special moves, and they range. Like, they can be kind of more stun heavy, they can do big damage, they can do big elemental damage, shit like that, and they have like cooldowns and all that. Like, there is a lot of variety you can do in the combat. I never got bored of the combat. Like, you're switching weapons on the fly, you're pulling off different combos, you're throwing shit, and you got Atreus / Freya as your like sidekick. So Freya and Atreus, they can shoot bows, they can shoot like elemental bows, they have their own little special attacks. And yeah, they're fine. They're good support pieces, and you can upgrade them as well. They'll learn different moves. They'll be more supportive, yada, yada, yada. Now, there was a period in the game where Atreus just wasn't doing anything anymore. For the whole game, he was engaged, he was fighting with me, and then one area, he just wasn't doing a fucking thing. And I was like, what are you doing, boy? Goddamn, get involved, get engaged. The only time you would do anything if I actively made him do shit. They're supposed to do stuff as well on their own, like just going off on their own fighting, but he got stuck there for a little bit. So that was a little bit of an issue, not a big one, but it happened. But yeah, you also get to have combat sections playing as Atreus. I don't remember if that was the case in the first game, but in this one, you can play as Atreus. The combat's similar to Kratos, except you don't have his weapons, obviously. Atreus uses his bow, so you can shoot the bow, you can whack people with the bow. There's a really satisfying move that you can unlock. You hold down the R1 button, and he just pummels bitches, just wham, 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 and he's pummeling them on the ground. Really like that move right there. I liked using Atreus because he's rangy, so and you're actually, like, at times, you're still playing as the support person. Like, sometimes Thrud will be with you, and she's just, fucking people up like Kratos would be, and you're, like, back there, pew, 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 shooting. You're hanging out with Thor, he's fucking using his hammer, you're back there, pew, 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 and you're shooting shit. It's awesome. Really, I was like, ooh, this might not be awesome, but no, the Atreus fighting parts were great. I really enjoyed those as well, so that was all good. There's a lot to do, man. There's a lot. So, you can upgrade everything. There's tons of armors that you can find, all different pieces. There's like three pieces I think Kratos wear, the chest piece, the waist piece, and the wrist pieces. So there's like so many of those you can find, all upgradable. They all have different stats. Like, some of them are really good on defense, some of them give you extra strength, some of them give you cooldown, runic power. Tons of variety. You can mix up all the pieces, upgrade. It's ridiculous. There's so much to do there. And then, like, all the side shit that you can do in this game. Where do we start? You got challenges. You can challenge your combat skills in a couple of different ways. So, like in God of War 2018, you have the Valkyrie fights. In this game, you have Berserkers. Very similar concept. You will just... In the areas of the world, you will find these gravestones, and you activate them, and there will be a very nasty berserker that will come out of it, and you gotta fight it. They're not as hard as the Valkyries. I've defeated the 12 of them or whatever, didn't have anywhere near as much of a problem with the berserkers as I did the Valkyries. Those Valkyries were motherfuckers. I am at the king right now, so when you beat the 12, you gotta fight the king, and I fought him one time so far. I almost beat him on my first try without a resurrection stone. So I'm like, all right, this guy shouldn't be too bad. So I'll try and take him down. So you got all those. So you got 13 of those fights to go track down and fight. You got the challenges at, I think it's Niflheim or whatever. Same thing that you had in the first game. They have the trials. It's, kill the enemies in the time limit. Do this. Don't take any damage. They had a couple of cool ones. I haven't finished them all, but they had one that was like King of the Hill. They're like, here's these circles. Defend the circles. Don't let enemies be in them. So you're running around defending the circles. One was like you had to kill enemies and then throw a bomb into the portal and like try and close up the portal. So it seems like they brought in some variety to those. I feel like they were all pretty samey in God of War 2018. So that's nice. They have some really good variety in those. You got the Odin's Ravens you can go around finding. There's 48 ravens hidden out throughout the world. And I actually found them all without a guide. Like, they were just easy enough to find on my own. Like, you can hear them very well. I played with headphones, and whenever one is in the area, you can hear them very, very clearly. Just follow the sound, and I found all 48 of them. I will admit, though, fucking so disappointed. I didn't get a trophy for finding all of them. I didn't get nothing. I got loot. Like, you get loot. For like every so many ravens you find, you go to the raven tree, there'll be an unlockable chest, and you'll get some cool shit. You get some armor, you get money, and all this shit, but no trophy? What the fucking fuck? Yo, I was devastated. I never do collectibles like that, and I actually found them all, and I didn't get nothing, so like, yeah, I'll probably never fucking do that again, but I will admit, those Odin Ravens are very fun to collect. Some of them are just like hidden, sitting still. Some of them are flying around, and you have to like get a really tricky shot off sometimes. I will admit, once you get that third weapon, it makes those ones very easy to get. But damn, some of those ravens were very fun to get. Sometimes you're like, from distance with the axe, just and you fucking nail it. You're like, yes! That's a great feeling right there. Great feeling. Amongst that, you got dragon fights you can track down. Those were really, really fun. I really enjoyed the dragon fights. In terms of like boss fights, like they're all really good. I don't know. I don't know. They're good. Just none of them really stood out to me. The combat all feels the same. Kind of doing the same thing. I'm dodging and all that, but still really, really fun. The dragons though were one of my favorites. Excuse me. They would go up into the air, and you would fucking line up that axe. You throw the axe and you take them down midair, and they come crashing down. Awesome. Dragon fights are so awesome now, man. Like, prior to Skyrim, a dragon fight, very tough to pull off. Nowadays, we got, the Elden Rings, and oh man, dragon fights are just out of control these days. I really enjoyed the ones in God of War. They have like the environmental puzzles that's kind of breaking up the game all throughout. You'll have like environmental puzzles. Oh, I gotta blow up this thing. Atreus has these sigil arrows that you use that a lot for puzzles, like for unlocking chests and a whole bunch of shit. So like the big one that they're doing is like, all right, way up on this mountainside cliff, there's a torch that you got to light up, and it's obviously way too far for my chains to reach. So you have to shoot these sigil little fucking circle things up, and you got to connect them and shoot it with the fire. And like, yeah, it's there's some pretty good puzzles here, fairly satisfying. They're not too challenging. Some of the legendary chests where you get inside the chest, you'll have rather an apple or a bloodhorn that'll increase your fucking health or your rage. I guess I'll talk about the rage. The rage is back when you fill up your rage bar, and then you unleash it. And now I don't remember if you had different options in 2018, but like the original one, you would just go crazy. You could just start beating the shit out of people, big damage and all that. Now you get some options. The one that I stuck with pretty much the whole entire game was it just gives me health. So I can use a portion of my rage bar, and it'll just bring back some of my health. And it was extremely useful. So I used that one throughout the whole entire game. You can upgrade that shit, all good. So with the legendary chests, you can upgrade your health and all that. Some of those were really like tricky because you have to find like 3 symbols, and you gotta light them, you gotta break them, something. They're usually hidden away. Some of them are hidden away very, very well. And yeah, man, I found all of those too. I couldn't believe it. I got all the apples, I got all the blood horns. I'm like, damn, dude, I'm doing good. I'm doing real good. What else do we got? You got the challenges, you got that. There's like little side quests that you can do for people. Like I said, the little squirrel dude, he'll give you shit. He's like, oh, there's these 4 mystical stags. Go find them. You go find those, and you'll be around, and like some random ghost will just pop up. You're like, buh, go find this other toy that, and then you'll get some story about the toy or some shit like that. There's a bunch of those to do. There's like buried treasure. You'll go around, you'll find like a map, and you got to go find the treasure. Those were fun. Yeah, man, there's a whole bunch of shit in this game to do. It was a shockingly pretty big game. All said and done, it took me 40 hours to get to the final fight. And then after that, there's a lot more to do. You can, after you do your final fight, which was awesome, fucking awesome, the finale, man, oh, that final, I don't know, hour and a half, 2 hours was out of fucking control. And there are some twists in this story, man, that I had some genuine shock, where I was like, I did not see that shit coming at all. My mouth was agape. Like, if you played the game, you probably know what twist I'm talking about, but like, holy fuck, that one caught me, man. I was like, holy shit, this game's amazing. But after you beat the game, you can continue onward. After the game, there'll be like a couple of missions that appear that you can do after. Highly recommend you go do that. Absolutely go do that. And then you can go and finish off whatever you left after the game. And I love when a big open world game does that. All right, everything's done. Here you go. The game is open to you. Everything's open. Just go, whatever you missed, go ahead and do it as easily-ish as you can. So you can do, there is like fast travel in the game. It's not the best. It's not like instant, but you'll have to travel to the gates. You go into the gate and it'll shift you off into a different realm or whatever. It's fine. I wish at like endgame they gave you like, I don't know, like a teleporter where I could just fucking immediately appear in front of them. Because sometimes there's some treks you gotta take, man. Especially if you want to backtrack and like maybe go find something that you missed way the fuck off in the back of somewhere. And you're like, oh, I gotta go through like this whole entire thing. And then like, sometimes they'll throw in like some new shit at you. Like I went to revisit some areas and some new shit happened. Like, they're like, oh, now this enemy's here. And they're like, oh, what's going on? It's all like relevant to the where we are in the game now. So I was like, oh, this is fucking impressive. Like, they expect you to continue the game afterwards. And they give you new shit there too. So like, that's awesome. And there is the Valhalla mode. I have not played it yet. I will be playing it, but I'm not counting that in my review. The Valhalla mode came out, what, like a year and a half, 2 years after the original game came out? I heard about it. I hear great things. I can't wait to play it. I'm just finishing off the main game first before I get there. But, oh my god, dude. If you have not experienced God of War, 2018 onward, the ones before it, Jesus Christ, man. You gotta get in here. You gotta get in on these God of War games, y'all. This is just some of the highest level of gaming I have ever experienced, man. From every level. Like, I am having a incredibly big internal debate right now as what my game of the year is right now. It's very difficult. Recency bias is immensely strong right now for God of War, but it also is kind of undeniable. Across the board, like, it's elite everywhere. Elite graphically, elite sound design, elite voice acting, elite characters, elite story, elite gameplay. It's all there. So with that being said, this game, God of War, Ragnarok, that's a 10 out of 10. That's a 10 out of 10 video game right there. 10 out of 10 does not mean perfect. But this is a masterclass video game. This is a masterclass adventure. This is a masterclass story. This is amazing. I want this to be a movie. This felt like the most interactive movie. Like, I was just, the scenes in this game, the moments, the storytelling, it's on a very high level, man. Like, I don't get attached like this much with characters in video games. And man, I love these people. Like, these are my homies right now. And I felt there was so many emotions throughout this game. Tons of joy, tons of just heartbreak and sadness. And my God, man, you just don't get that all the time with video games. This is a very special video game. Wow, what an adventure that was. I don't want it to end. I want to keep playing it. I want to just be here, and I just want to hear Kratos talk, and I want Mimir to tell me more stories, and so on and so forth. And we're definitely not done here. there's a lot more they could do. Like, I hope at some point they do some spin-off games. Like, they don't have to be as big as 2018 or Ragnarok. Just give me a good 8 to 10 hour video. Give me a Miles Morales but God of War. Like, give me a Freya game, or with a Freya. Give me Freya. Give me a Brock and Sindri game or something. I don't know. Give me some good spin-off games for God of War. I think they could easily make like 700 of them. But hey, I'll take a couple. So all that being said, 10 out of 10 video game. I really can't pull anything out that's wrong. Other than, like, yeah, some of the character models a little bit iffy. Or not even iffy, just stand out because they're not on the highest tier compared to the other parts of the game. But that's the only place I can say it shows its age a little bit. But my God, what a fucking game this is. Let me know if y'all have played Ragnarok. What did you think about the game? How was the story for you? Did you get broken by the story? Did you get absolutely just shocked by that twist in the game out of nowhere? I'm not even going to bring up the character. I'm not even going to talk about him. Not saying it. I won't say his name to you. Oh, but yeah, bro, that was amazing. And I couldn't stop playing this game. Couldn't stop thinking about this game. It was one that I struggled to put down. Like, usually my gaming is about 2 hours. When I game, I'm a 2-hour guy. I'll play for 2 hours and I get a little antsy. I'm like, I got to go do something else. I got to do something. I got to do something productive. Just something else. With this game, I could sit there for fucking 9 straight hours if I wanted to and play this game. I found myself being like, oh shit, I gotta go to bed. Like, oh shit, I gotta stop. I gotta go to work. Like, just losing track of time. And like, that just doesn't really happen with me in games nowadays as an adult. Like, I just got lost in God of War, man. Absolutely loved it. Such an amazing game. Can't wait to discuss it again at the X's. It will most certainly be making an impact on my X's this year for certain. And I can't wait to see what's next for Santa Monica. Do they continue down the God of War path? Are they going to try something else? Doesn't matter. At this point, you have everybody's full attention. They set that, like, without really saying what they did at the end of Ragnarok, the doors are open. There's a lot of doors open there. They can go in a lot of directions. I see three clear directions they can go with. And yeah, man, so it's up to Santa Monica at this point. If they want to continue to do God of War, or if they're tired and they want to try something else, I'm all there for them. But this is one of the best video games ever made, period. Holy fuck. Go play Ragnarok right now. I cannot believe this exists. This is insane, man. This is insane. Now I can't wait to go back and experience the older God of War games again that I missed. Pretty much all the spin-off games, the PSP games. And yeah, and if I don't get sick of it, I want to replay God of War 2 and 3 again, because I've only played those once. So I'd like to go back and try them again. So that would be awesome. But let me know, y'all, what was your experience with this current iteration of God of War? Wow. That's all I can say. Just fucking wow. But there we go, everybody. Thank you so much for listening. Next week's episode, I believe, will be the X's. So that's going to be a big one. Hold on. Where are we at? I'm currently recording this on the 13th of December. It should be coming out on the 20th, something like that. So a week from there. Yeah, we could do the X's on the next episode. We'll see, man. It kind of depends what I'm playing. If there's something that I think I could squeeze in, it might get pushed. But it seems like the next episode will be the X's, my video game award show, where I go through my whole entire year of gaming. Every game that I played that was new, doesn't matter what year it was. If it was new, it's in contention for all the awards. So there's going to be, I don't remember how many awards I have right now, but a lot of them. So it's going to be a lot of fun. A retrospective on the year that was 2024. And it was another big one, y'all. Every year is going to be big. But yeah, can't wait to do that episode. Got the hockey cast going on every week. Go through the news and what's happening in the NHL. Is anything crazy? I don't know. We're kind of in a lull a little bit right now. All the crazy shit just happened. You know, New York went crazy. People were getting traded and ruthless ways. So you can keep up with the hockey cast to stay in touch or in up to date. There you go, up to date with the news in the NHL, and the WrestleCast, where I do my weekly recaps of AEW and WWE wrestling programs. And when they have pay-per-views, I do an extra pay-per-view review as well. And seemingly there's a pay-per-view every fucking weekend. So I will probably have another one out at some point this week, but that's okay. I love wrestling, so that's good. Anyway, Thank you, everybody, so much for listening. You the best. You want to be even more the best, make sure you're liking and reviewing the podcast. Share it around with a few thousand of your friends, maybe an enemy or two. And yeah, I got a Twitter page where I put up announcements as best as I can. Follow along over there. And I upload all these episodes to the YouTube channel, GamerGX Videos. Go over there, subscribe on YouTube, drop a comment on the video, want a question answered live on the podcast. Send in a question. Anything on wrestling, video games, hockey would be preferred. Send in a Twitter message, comment on YouTube. I got an email address. It's all there for you. So hit me up with your questions. And once again, thank you for listening. We'll be back again with some GX Blood.